Markets recover from day's lows after a volatile start. Sensex above 73,300, while the Nifty hovers around 22,100. Most sectoral indices trade in the green, with gains led by the PSU pack, media and metals. On the other hand, IT and realty and pharma under stress. Jyoti CNC makes a strong D Street debut. The stock lists at a 12% premium to its IPO issue price on the NSE. The Adani Group offers bigger flats to residents of Dharavi as part of redevelopment. And all eyes on HDFC Bank Q3 results. Asset quality is expected to remain stable with steady loan growth. Hello and welcome. This is the F&O Show and I am Agam, Vakil, and in this show we take you through all that is happening in the futures and options space in the Indian markets. At the moment, the Nifty and the Sensex are trending largely flattish, marginally in the red, well actually in and out of the green and red, so not too much to speak for. But the Nifty is holding on to the 22,000 mark and the Sensex well above 73,300 as we speak. The Bank Nifty also is in focus today, considering the Fin Nifty expiry. The Bank Nifty is, up marginally as well. It is a Fin Nifty where we're going to shift out and perhaps put a focus on, considering it's the weekly options expiry today. And the Fin Nifty also is currently just marginally in the green. However, trying to take out the 21,500 mark. The question is whether or not it can in today's day of trade. This is something that we're going to wait and watch out for. But even in terms of the Nifty, remember that it's going to be largely about HDFC Bank, right? Because we will have earnings coming through towards the end of this trading session, but possibly after market hours. And for now, it is trading flat, but this is after a sharp 2% up move that it's made yesterday. For now, besides that, in terms of key contributors as far as the index is concerned, and the Nifty specifically, well, of course, while HDFC Bank is quiet, we're looking at a bout of profit taking for HCL Technologies, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, LTIM. So top four losers on the Nifty 50 are all from the IT pack. It seems like there's just a little bit of an up move fatigue for as far as your IT counters go. But from there on, let's talk about the futures and options space, and let's quickly pull out what's really happening in the Nifty futures. And for now, we are not looking at any change whatsoever, neither on the underlying nor in terms of its open interest. The Bank Nifty futures, again, which will be in focus today, and that's where we are seeing marginal cues. But there is a little bit of an open interest build-up coming through. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on in terms of Bank Nifty. But that's as far as your futures and options space is concerned. We'll take a small detour and address what's happening with BLS International, where we believe that the company has in fact agreed to acquire certain assets in Turkey. And because of that, we certainly did see BLS International will open with substantial strength. We have Shikhar Aggarwal, the joint Managing Director, who's joining us on the show to take us through what this acquisition means. Shikhar, good morning, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Your take, firstly, on the acquisition, what this brings to BLS International. I believe you're paying a consideration of around 450 odd crores converted into rupees, of course. When do you expect that break even to come through over the how many years? If you could give us some more details.
Definitely. So see, the acquisition that we have made is the company called iData. It is the fourth largest player in visa outsourcing. It's a regional player. They work primarily for the German and Italian government from 2006 in Turkey and a couple of more countries like Russia, Kazakhstan, and basically, Azerbaijan, a lot of countries in this side of the world. And, they are a very strong company with strong cash flows. They did a revenue of around 200 crores last year with the 95 to 100 crores of profits. So, we definitely have taken the company at 5 to 6 times of the profit of last year. And we expect to recover the money in the next 5 years. Going forward, we definitely accept, the profits of these companies will increase in the coming years. We also expect that we will streamline our operations, in this region. So our costs will go down, from our existing operation that we are working for different governments. So overall, the profit margins of the combined entity will definitely go up. And in the long run, it will give us a new reach in different territories. It will help us get new contracts with these client governments in other geographies of the world. So definitely, now we have become the second largest player in visa outsourcing in the world.
Right. Well, let me get in my colleague Mahima to join us into the conversation as well, as she also takes a close look at the particular company. Mahima?
Yeah. Good morning, Shikhar. So my first question to you is that what kind of revenue contribution to your total revenue are you expecting out of this acquisition of iData?
See, this company is last year did around 200 crores of revenue. So that will definitely get added to our books. But, we expect further growth coming in this company in the next few years. And we also want to value add, from our learnings that we have learned over the past few years. So definitely, I think now this company will become a significant revenue contributor to our entity. And from profit point of view, if you see the profit margins that this entity is doing because of being a niche player, in this segment is quite good, quite high. So we definitely expect that profit will add on, profit margins for the combined entity will increase, and we will also learn from this entity.
Shikhar, I just wanted to come in on the kind of growth that we've seen for iData based on the releases. Now, I know that 2020 and 2021 were off years because of COVID, and consequently, we've seen a huge flip when it comes to 2022. That's where you suggested that the revenues were worth around 200 crores. I'm just trying to understand that going forward, what kind of growth can we expect from this specific unit that you are about to acquire going in?
Definitely, as you have seen in BLS International also, 20 and 21 were years where the revenue was less, but 22 we also did good revenue. Same goes with this company. And as I told you before, BLS International has not reached 100% pre-COVID volume. Same goes with this company. They have also not reached the pre-COVID volume. So we expect that in the next few years, the revenue and profitability from this company should go up further. We will be realigning some of our offices in the same geographies. So definitely there will be reduction in cost for both the entities. Profit margins will go up. So definitely, in the next few years, we expect different contracts winning also with this company in these regions where we did not have a very strong presence. Now we can bid aggressively for all different global contracts in these specific jurisdictions.
Right, Shikhar. So we're seeing that your revenues from digital services, like the contribution has been increasing significantly year on year. So do you expect any kind of change in terms of your segment contribution?
Definitely. See, as we have explained in the last few years, that we expect good growth coming in both BLS International from the Visa Counselor services and the digital service, which is the BLS e-service segment of the company, wherein we are also listing that entity now, and we have already filed for an IPO listing expected to close within a month or 2 months' time. So we definitely expect even mergers and acquisitions in that entity, revenue to grow from that entity. But at the same time, on a long-term basis, the revenue mix should remain same, because BLS International also, we see a major growth coming, with this acquisition, with new tenders that are coming in where we are applying. So definitely, in the long-term basis, the revenue mix should remain the same.
Right. So you recently won a contract from High Commission of India in Canada. What kind of synergies are you expecting from that contract going forward?
See, we definitely, have been performing very well in Canada for the last 10 years. And Indian government had again come out with a tender in Canada. So we again won that contract with addition of 3 new offices and starting of some additional services like a premium lounge. So definitely we expect increase in margin coming in from that contract also going forward.
Right. Also, what kind of margin outlook do you see for FY25?
If you see the last second quarter, we have already achieved a margin of 21%, which was a major growth compared to last quarters. Our strive is to increase the margins, and rationalize the cost of the company, and increase the profit margin. So definitely we expect, to maintain these margins, whatever we have achieved in the second quarter. And definitely with this acquisition, there will be synergy. So we see a further increase in margin in the coming quarters.
Okay, well, that's all that we have for you, Shikhar. We want to take a moment to thank you for joining us and taking us through the latest acquisition that you made for us. And of course, Mahima, thanks for joining in and, taking this conversation ahead with me. But on that note, we shift focus back to the markets, which are currently, or rather have started currently trending a tad bit higher, and I'm talking about the Fin Nifty specifically in this case. It's moved about 21,500, and it's going to be a very, very interesting day to keep an eye on, especially ahead of earnings from HDFC, and not just the Fin Nifty, the Bank Nifty as well. On that note, let's bring in our experts for today. We have Aditya Arora, multi-asset research analyst at Adlytick Stock Market Research, and we also have Brijesh L. He is retail research from IDBI Cap. Good morning to both of you, and thanks for joining in. Aditya, start with you. Your view on the Nifty at the moment. Are you expecting the Nifty to sustain about 22,000 at least over the course of the next few days?
Very good morning. I think markets have reached a point wherein, markets are going up with less momentum. Previously, the momentum was high as the momentum in Reliance was good. Now we have HDFC Bank results, and I think a lot of call writers are present at 22,000 and 22,100. So I think now this is the friction zone, 200 points up, and that could be it. So I think it's a good time to take chips off the table, because I expect markets to, correct about 100 to 300 points from the peak, which could be 20,100 or 20,300. So I'm pretty much neutral to bearish at this point in time on Nifty.
All right. Brijesh, good morning to you as well. Your view on this specific benchmark, the Nifty?
Morning. So specific to the Nifty, we are of the opinion that the levels of 22,200 is the likely to act as a resistance. Today, for the very first time, there has been a short build-up in the Nifty from the futures point of view, and continuously at 20,200. So a lot of call writers who are extremely becoming active. So my sense is maybe during the day, if by any chance, if today's morning first 15 minutes that low is taken down, then there are fair chances that Nifty might correct little bit lower, close to 21,900, 21,950. That is the expected low for the Nifty. But if you ask me directionally, I'm not bearish on the market. I believe this 22,200 will also be taken off. We are talking of 22,500 on the higher side and 21,500 on the lower side. So this 1,000 points is the range for the Nifty from the directional point of view. For the day specific, I would be cautious if today's morning first early 15 minutes trade is taken down. I would be a little bit cautious because there will be a loss of momentum, and that this particular thing can drag it back to another 100 odd points on the downside. Same with exactly opposite to this is what a Bank Nifty. If you see Bank Nifty is, we are observing a long build up. So maybe obviously because of the HDFC result which are lined up. So it's a mixed view. One has to be cautious and one has to take the stock specific trades.
So Brijesh has given his view on the Bank Nifty as well. I want to take up Aditya's view on the Bank Nifty too. Aditya, it may perhaps be just a tad challenging because HDFC's overall weightage on the Bank Nifty is about 33%, and the earnings are expected perhaps post-market hours. But at this point in time, how would you approach this one?
I concur with the view. I think Bank Nifty is relatively outperforming and could be an outperformer given patterns of HDFC banks are also pretty good. So if we take a positional view on HDFC Bank, then I think there's more runway of 5 to 10% in HDFC Bank. So any positive trigger could take HDFC Bank to all-time highs and even Bank Nifty to new highs. So I think, last leg of rally could be from HDFC Bank, which could take Bank Nifty to higher levels. But in intraday or so, short-term time, I think probably there's some fatigue in Nifty. So underperformance on Nifty and outperformance on Bank Nifty.
Okay, so we keep an eye on a handful of data points that both our experts have pointed out as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, and of course pertaining to HDFC's influence on the Bank Nifty. But on that note, we slip into a short break, but on the other side, we talk about stocks and a lot more. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. This is the F&O Show, and we now take a look at all the stocks which are buzzing in the futures and options space, futures specifically, and we'll take a look at all the gainers in terms of open interest at the moment. And I'm sure we'll have quite a few, starting off with Nalco and Page Industries, Titan, LIC Housing Finance, and ONGC. Okay, so all of them are looking at a substantial increase in open interest, even as their respective underlyings advance. LIC Housing specifically is flattish, so I wouldn't exactly say longs building up there, but we do have gains in Nalco along with Page Industries with a significant increase in open interest towards longs. And Titan is the other, very, very interesting one. It's now moved about the mark of 3,800 rupees per share. So, and that continues to see fresh longs there as well. And ONGC, what a run that's had, along with the entire oil and gas pack. That's up and about with a gain of around 1.5%. What about stocks which are seeing unwinding in trade today? Let's pull that up as well and take a look at where there is decline in open interest. And the declines in OI are not significant, if you can see. So while we do have longs unwinding in Abbott, LTI Mindtree, and HCL Technologies, we also have a bout of short covering in India Mart Intermesh. Coforge, of course, is flattish right now, so I wouldn't want to, give any label to that particular one. But besides that, there's plenty more to keep an eye on. And among many things, we're looking at the Nifty moving above the mark of 21,100, making a new life high as we speak. Another one of those milestones coming through over the course of the last 3 trading sessions, and there's no letting up, is there? And I reckon that for every time bears would want to perhaps go ahead and sell these markets, they get these reminders from time and again that you cannot fight the trend. And until and unless the trend has come to an end, where you're going to have to stay with in the direction with which it moves. But I'm going to talk about some of these stock ideas with our experts as well. Brijesh, I come to you. What stock ideas are you suggesting in today's day of trade to us?
Yeah, so as I said, there's a mixed view on the index. So let's go with the individual stock specific. Petronet LNG is one stock in the F&O space, which I think can see a good momentum. It's kind of getting from the range breakout. I think currently at 236, the stock is trading, and we can have a long bet with the stop loss of 231 for the target of 245. This can be one of the F&O trade. After that, one more which I'm looking at is the Canara Bank. It's again a momentum play. It's looking quite positive on charts at the level of 472 with a stop loss of 464 for the target of 488. So this can be the next bet. And lastly, as we saw, auto space was something which was moving morning. There was a quite good momentum over there. Maruti is something which is again moving from the support zone. So Maruti can be one stock which can be bought at current level with a stop loss of 10,159 for the target of 10,400.
Right. Well, I just want to point out that while I may have suggested that Nifty is at a life high, on an absolute change, business is still very much flat. So there isn't a very, very big up move coming in as far as the Nifty is concerned. All the bulls are trying their best to do whatever they can to shift and push Nifty higher to the next orbit. But for now, we're seeing a gain of around 15 points, and which is not substantial. The only positive is that Nifty is currently trending in the green. Look at the advance decline ratio, and between the advances and declines, there isn't a substantially large difference. It's largely one advance for one decline, and that will also be something that a lot of traders will think about, because in a bull market, you also want the breadth to be in your favor and substantially in your favor. But as I've suggested earlier as well, there's going to be a lot of pull and push, especially when benchmarks do hit new highs. There tends to be a little bit of volatility induced as well before we get a resumption in either consolidation or in either side of the trend. But I'm going to move back to Aditya for his trading picks for the day. Aditya?
Right. So my first pick would be DLF. I think we saw very stellar gains in real estate counters, whether it's large caps or small caps. There was rally across the board. Now they seem pretty overheated, and all the RSIs are pretty overstretched and overbought. And patterns are suggesting that probably at this point, call writers could come in and push the prices a little lower. So call writing could be a good strategy at this point in time. So 820 call is sell at 9.20, 14 is stop loss, and target is 4 and 0. Second one would be Maruti. My thoughts are pretty much in concur with other guests on the show today. So Maruti is again a bullish bet from my side. I think put writing could be a good strategy over here. So 10,000 put is sell at 75, 140 is the stop loss, and 0 is target.
Okay. So these are some of the trading strategies as far as our experts have when it comes to, a handful of ideas, of course. And, we do want to talk about the information technology space and what's really happening there. And I want to talk about a handful of counters which haven't come to the fore yet. Let's pull up LTIMindtree. It was on one of those lists. And, while we have seen so much strength in InfiTC as Wipro, HCL Tech over the past few days, I want to address what's happening with LTIMindtree. It's currently at 6250, so it has also gained largely in tandem. But this is the only other large cap IT major which has not yet announced earnings. And of course, in terms of the pecking order now, it becomes slightly higher than Tech Mahindra on account of a larger market cap. But Brijesh, any view on LTIMindtree? Any ideas with respect to how you would potentially trade this one?
Taking a fresh long positions is not advisable. I think we'll ride the momentum. So basically, yesterday, from the levels of 6,000, there has been a substantial gain in the last couple of days. So that 6,000 remains the base as of now. and the momentum can go back to 6,500 plus levels. So if somebody's having a position should hold on the position. Making a fresh trade would not be advisable. The bias will be positive and trend also looks positive right now.
All right. And then I'm going to take a view on something like a Coforge, where, again, at least in today's day of trade, it's been quiet. But once again, when it does start seeing traction in either an upward or a downward move, we start seeing a lot more. Aditya, are you witnessing anything in Coforge at the moment? Would you have a buy or sell, or would you want to avoid taking any positions at the moment?
I think Coforge could be bought at current market price of 6618 and 6,350 should be the stop loss, and target should come at 6,900 to 7,200. So it's a slightly bullish candidate at this point in time.
Okay, well, there you have it. That's the view on two of your IT companies where the sector has been focused on account of earnings, but we have run out of time on this show. So I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Aditya and Brijesh, for taking us through their views and also giving us a handful of trading ideas. And with that, it's a wrap on the F&O Show, but lots more lined up on the other side. Stay tuned in.